Hello everybody, my name is Agent and welcome to episode 2 of Advanced Commands. In this episode we're going to go over if-else statements and how to correctly implement them. So an if-else statement is basically if something is true, we want to run code, and if something else, then we want to run other code. And that's basically it. So in JavaScript this would be valid, except it won't do anything. How do we do this in Minecraft? So last time we did something math related, something different today. We're gonna do some music related. So I just added music here and we just added start stop, and it just used the template and just renamed it and changed a couple things, and we can see we have this advancement in here. So first off, we want to basically have a start stop mechanism. So I have this nifty command for play sound, which just plays a nice, very high-pitched Minecraft record.cat. And we want to stop sound by using this. And then we want to stop Minecraft record.cat. That's our stop command. So let's just implement that real quick. And stop sound as record Minecraft record.cat, and this will basically stop that. But if you run this, obviously it will start it and it will stop it immediately after. And we want it to actually not start stop, but actually start or stop when we press the button. So what we do here is we have to make an if-else statement. So if it is playing, if it is already playing, we want to stop it. If it's not playing yet, we want to start it, but not both. So to use this, the obvious answer seems to be to use a boolean, which we can represent in Minecraft using tags. But there is a simple problem with tags, and that is we can add tag 1 and then add tag 2, or no, we can add tag 1 and then do this if tag 1 exists, and basically the tag can be true. If it's true, this will play. If it's true, it's not true, this will play. And then we have to switch them around. But how are we going to do that? It seems obvious, but if we do something like, you can see a problem arises. Here we first add the tag if we don't have it yet, but it's immediately removed. That's annoying. Let's just switch it around then. Well, if we have it, we'll remove it. But then it's removed, it's immediately added. So basically we can't use tags. There is something nice we learned last episode, and that is absolute value. Yes, you heard that right, maths. Maths is gonna save your day. So we're just gonna use the function that we created last time, and we're gonna implement that here. Copy this, basically. We need everything in here. So the only check we have to remove is this, because this is the check if it is or it isn't negative, and we always want inverted, because we know when we do something times -1, it'll basically make it positive or negative, but the number won't change. Well, let's not call it output, let's call it is playing. This is our boolean value. First one is set it to 1. So scoreboard players or scoreboard objectives add is playing, dummy is playing. And yes, this will add the objective if it doesn't exist yet. Next we are going to do something interesting, and that is scoreboard players add at s is playing 0, and this basically will initialize our variable. This is the same as just saying, alright, is playing equals 0, but it won't set it if it's already set. Then we want to have another one, which is basically gonna set it to 1. So we'll do set is playing to 1 if our score is actually 0. So score is playing min equals 0. Score is playing equals 0. Whoa, what did we do here? basically we want to set the value to 1 or -1. Actually, the first time we were playing it's not playing, so we're just doing -1, so it's not playing. And if we do +1, it is playing, right? So -1 is false, +1 is true. And any other value below -1 will also be false. Everything above +1 will also be true. So just include that. And 0, it will immediately set it to -1, because 0 is an unallowed value, because we know 0 is not negative nor positive, so we can't manipulate it through this formula. Now we want to scoreboard objectives add -1. We're just going to edit it again and remove it again when we're done with it. Basically a local variable. It's not strictly necessary. We can just have a global variable -1 and use it for anything, but let's just keep it simple and just add it and be safe. Just add it and remove it when we need it. And we'll just run this. We can leave the space in here just to make it more readable. Make sure to add the comma after every line except the last, because otherwise your code won't run and you will be stumped why it doesn't run. Now we have to check. And how do we check? We can just put this in the @s. We can use execute as we showed last time, I believe. Did we show it last time? I think we did in here. We used execute to do an if statement. We can just copy this and paste this in here and basically do score is playing equals -1. So if it's not playing or anything below, this will run. But we can make this more compact by just grabbing the parameter and put that over here. Anywhere where there's one @s there's a single @s in your command, this is the preferred way to do it. Just append it to the list. And if we are playing, so if it is at least 1, if it is at least true, we want to stop the sound for that player. If there is multiple @s, like an operation, I suggest using execute, because then you only have to do the parameters once. And if you have a ton of parameters, you'll have to add that entire list to here and here. And if there's multiple @s, we might even have to do more. If there's no @s in the command like so, we would have to use an execute too. So just keep that in mind. This is just a shorthand to make things easier. So we play the sound if it's not, and then we'll invert it, and if it is already playing, we'll stop it, and then we invert the signal. So let's save it. Let's try that out. So it should work right now. So we hit it. It added successfully and removed -1 successfully. And it didn't do much more. That's because we made an error, a silent error. Can you spot it? I give you 3 seconds. It's in the line 10 to give you a hint. Scoreboard objectives. And this is a silent error that is very annoying because you might be looking at your code for hours and not find it. So objectives, right? Save it again. Make sure to reload your advancements, otherwise you're going to look for errors that don't exist. And now it starts. It starts the song, right? And we hit it again. It stops. Start, stop. Right, let's remove the spam. Scoreboard, or like game rule, command block output false. Let's give us a little bit more feedback. So basically copy this and copy that, copycat, and we basically want to do, so title @s. How does that work? Title @s, action bar. And then we want to do a text. What is our text going to be? And paste it in here. Whoa, we get errors all over the place. That's because we are using quotation marks, and quotation marks within quotation marks, the thing won't recognize if the quotation mark is an actual quotation mark that's going to end the string, so this is a string and this is something else, or that this is just a regular quotation mark within a quotation mark. So you have to escape every quotation mark. Make sure to quote everything, or to escape every quote. in your string, like so. One more, make sure to put it in front of the quote, and don't do the last one because that's just basically the thing. And so this will say that it's playing, but we also want to have the, oh, it's right there. So we want to copy this parameter and put it over here. So if it's not playing, we want to say that it started playing, and now we want to say that it stopped playing, and we want to change this to red, and let's make this green to indicate it better. And we want to obviously say that it's at least 1. So now we want to, what is happening, let's put our white space back so we can read it better, is this is our initialized stuff that's always going to make sure that the stuff exists. The check exists, save it. Then we have the play sound and the title. Let's put a comma there, don't forget that. And this is just a play sound, so we start playing if it's not playing yet, and if it's not playing yet, we also want to say that we just started playing it because we just did. And then we just want to invert the switch, and we will switch it on, and then we switch the variable on, set it to 1. This won't run again because it is not -1 or smaller. It runs, so it stops cat, and it will say that it stopped playing cat, and then it will switch again. So that should work. Now it should work. It started playing cat by C418 in green, and it stopped playing. Now the thing is, if it runs out, what happens if the song runs out? Well, the boolean is still on. It's still thinking it's still playing, but it's already stopped. And the only way to change that is to know the length of the track. Basically, you have to know how long the track is and how long it basically how long it lasts when the pitch is changed, and you need to basically know how long it's playing for, and you'll have to do a timer, and you can put that timer in a separate file and basically switch it off once it stops playing, but I'm not going to do that because I'm lazy, and this is fine enough. So yeah, that's basically your if-else statements. Don't use tags, use scoreboards, and use this function like so. And as you can see, it looks kind of like assembly, because to write 2 lines of code in something like JavaScript, you need 20 lines. Well, it's 10 lines in Minecraft commands. So yeah, I hope you learned anything in this video and you understand it. I hope I did a good job explaining it, because this is also kind of new for me because it's just out, and I have to kind of relate to programming languages and try to make you understand it and how it exactly works, and to explain you the thing. So to quickly summarize it, what we did is we created a new music folder, start stop JSON. We can run that to start music and stop music, and we first revoke the advancement as always, and we add a variable is playing, and we initialize the variable using this command. We then sort of initialize it to -1, so 0 is not a valid value. We turn it to -1, and then we just start playing 1 when it's -1, so the first time it's -1, and we want to say a title, started playing, which we have escaped with slashes, backslashes. This won't run because it's not -1. And here we are just setting a -1 sign. We're just inverting it by using this maths operation, is playing times equals -1, because everything times -1 is basically the opposite value. Basically just add a negative sign in front of the number or remove it. And then we are done with this, and next time we run around, this -1 has changed into a +1, and so it will run these 2 commands, and it will revert it back to -1. So yeah, that's it for this video. I have a little bit of bonus content to show you, and that's the following.